Welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. Today is Wednesday, August 30th, 2023, I think. I'm so glad that so many people are here bright and early and are joining us. And we got a great show planned today. Absolutely nothing. And we're going to talk and we're going to chat. We're going to have a good time. And I'd like to say a very happy National Frankenstein Day to those of you who observe. This is an important holiday to my people. And I believe it's Mary Shelley's birthday. Mary Shelley, the author, creator of The Fiend, the monster, Frankenstein, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, today is the day, and we can talk about Frankenstein in a little bit. But before we get so caught up in all these things, let's remember that all that and more right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody out there to waste time with you. A lot to talk about in the rock and roll world. All kinds of crazy things are happening. The battle of Pretty Boy Floyd. That's just one of many stories. Of course, again, we'll talk a little bit about Frankenstein because today is a holiday. And then, in addition to that, I just got back from Hannibal, Missouri, home of the birthplace, who the hell knows, of Mark Twain. In the last few months, I've become very acquainted with Mark Twain, which is, in fact, not his real name. So we'll talk about all those things. And, of course, whatever questions you guys have, we'll also talk about some of the upcoming places I'm going. I travel every single weekend, and there's a lot more to my career and my life than just Stephen Piercy. When I'm not traveling with Stephen Piercy, I've got my own businesses and projects, and I will be in California this weekend for an extremely top secret project. But I will also be at the Rainbow Bar and Grill Bash. They've got a fantastic lineup. And if you see me and you're watching this, feel free to come over and say hello, unless you have flu symptoms, and then stay the fuck away from me. But I will be at the the Rainbow, this Sunday, and we can talk about that first, I guess. They're going to have a bunch of bands. I'm not going to watch many of these bands. Let me see if I can bring up the lineup. I asked Jake from the Whiskey. Come on, Jake is the booking agent of the Whiskey, and he also handles this Rainbow Bar and Grill Bash or whatever. But he did not respond. That's okay. Not everybody wants to put up with my nonsense. Let's see if we can see who the hell is going to be there. I just got to find a big picture for it. So hold your damn horses. And it's interesting that this year, well, this is going to have to do. Hold on. This year, they're also doing an after party at the Whiskey, which is going to have Jet Boy and Circus of Power. Jet Boy guys have been on the show. Circus of Power, I'm a big fan. Now, I don't know if you guys can read this, but this is the lineup that I will be seeing. It's very small, but doesn't matter. It's how you use it. So, okay, hold on. This is... Jeez. On the bottom, there's three bands that I'm assuming paid to play or something. But Tennessee Werewolves, I don't know what the hell this other one says. Something else, an American Head Trip. Those three first. Then London and Nader the Priest, a friend of mine. He's been on the show. I don't think I will be there that early, but I would try my best because Nader was a great guest on this show. And then... hold on one second. Let's just make sure everyone's enjoying the show. Sometimes I start yapping, and then okay, all right. Enough's enough. I will not partake. I am not. I am a purist of Enough's Enough. And if Donnie V is not in the band, there's no such band to me. So I won't be there. Next is Angel, or On Hell if you're Hispanic. I'm a good friend with Frank Domino here in Las Vegas. Would love to see them, and I'm going to try my best. Next is Steelheart. I think Angel should be over Steelheart personally, but whatever. I hear nothing but good things about Steelheart. I've never seen them. and then headlining my good friend Dana Strum and Slaughter, and that's what I'll be there to see those guys. I talked to Dana yesterday. I talked to Dana Strum a lot. We do a lot of shows, Stephen Piercy Band, with either Slaughter or Vince Neil. Dana, obviously, in both of those and involved in the business of both of those. So anyway, if you're planning to come out to this bash, I would be happy to see you. But a lot of cool stuff and a lot of new content is going to be coming out of that as well. Let's talk a little bit about. Well, let's look at some of your comments and then I'll chat. As you've noticed, I've been going solo lately. No sidekick. I'm thinking about trying new sidekicks each week. Maybe each week we'll have someone sit in. Maybe it could be one of you watching at home. If you think you've got what it takes, maybe we can chat. I'm pretty good at chatting by myself, but maybe it's nice to have someone to bounce ideas off of. As you know, Johnny Monaco was here for many months, but he feels that he wasn't treated entirely fairly by the audience, and that you will miss him when he's gone. So for now, he is not. He is refraining, if you will. He's refraining, and he has a lot of his own things to deal with. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going through this. Oh, Sin City Photog is here. That's Jay. Jay is the mod for the evening. So don't get fresh because he has a very loose trigger figure. Hi, California Dreaming. Brian Kirk, channel member, is here. Francis is here. Michelle, nice to see you. Michelle Lane, that is. And Bryson is ready to rock. Wayne is here. Desmond is here. Randy, look at all of the people here tonight. Ron Zeller. Happy birthday to Frank. That is true. Thank you, Eric. I agree. It is Frank's birthday. Mark Sanchez is here. Tori Watson. Lorraine. Nice to see you, Lorraine. Lorraine just learned that today is Frankenstein Day, and she is celebrating. Joe Mannix is playing the Edgar Winter song in his honor. Skylar is playing Alice Cooper's Feed My Frankenstein. Hello, Scott. Hello, Chris. And Desmond says he enjoyed the New Mexico footage. We'll talk about Tour Diaries in just a little bit. New York Dolls, Frankenstein, of course. Randall, you make a good point. Let's see. You are busy shopping for Frankenstein shirts. That's Spirit Medium Daniel. No, I have enough Frankenstein shirts to wear for the next 10 years. So, no, I'm not shopping. Karloff's Frankenstein, that is the only one. Hey, Jason, tell us a band you find overrated. Ooh, I don't know. That's not for me to say, but probably most of them. Let's see here. If you want to talk in the chat, yeah, amongst yourselves, if people want to talk about a band that's overrated, have at it. That's up to you guys. You guys are allowed to have any opinion you like. Scott telling me that Stillheart, which I believe is also known as Steelheart, rocks. So Dr. Paul could be a good co-host. I think I'm going to have Matt Thorne come on here and spend a show with me. He obviously was in a band with Dr. Paul called Rough Cut. And all right. And Lorraine, absolutely. I remember Lorraine. Lorraine comes to all of the East Coast TV shows. Lorraine, there's a big lineup of shows next year that I think you'll be able to go to. I can't tell you publicly about that, but I have a feeling we'll see you soon. Marshall, good to see you. Michael, good to see you. Jason, hey now. Mark Sanchez says he'll be at the Whiskey to see Vane. Will I be there? Probably not. I will be in the greater Los Angeles area, but Vane is not in my plans. Let's see. All right. I'm trying to include everybody here. Question about Johnny Monaco's schedule. I know nothing about it. Who is taller, me or Chip? It's a good question. I would say Chip, but there's a lot of things about Chip that I don't think are honest. His height might be one of them. Maybe his hair or piece or hat and shoes. I don't know, but I think he might be a little taller than me. but I'm not sure. I'll look for him on Sunday and find out. Okay, super chats. Thank you so much. Hope you're healed. Us old guys need to stay off scooters. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for that. And you're right, we do. I'm getting there. I had to see a doctor, a specialist, if you will, to have my leg scanned to make sure that I don't have a blood clot from my accident. The results haven't come back yet, but we'll find out. Okay, AZ, you look well rested after return. Will there be a meet and greet at the whiskey show? I assume you mean the Stephen Piercy whiskey show. Yes, there will be a meet and greet. And there's going to be some surprises for that show that you're going to be, I think if you're a fan of RATT and that music, you'll be into. Can't talk about it yet. Matt Thorne would be good. Yeah, he would be very good. And Mark Sanchez might be good too. But I think we just alternate it and see what you guys think. Lorraine has seen Stephen 32 times. That's a lot of shows. Randy suggests I bite the bullet to see Vane. Probably not going to happen. Okay. All right. Skylar, I have to agree. Bitsy is my favorite co-host. Bitsy is really the star of the show. I don't know where she went right now, but she's around here somewhere, and thankfully, on her spending her 9 lives, still kicking. Let's see. Some of the stuff I just, you can't get everything. You would love to hear the story about how Matt Thorne became Matt Thor. I think he would tell it. So maybe we'll have Matt here to tell that story because his name is Thorne, but somebody decided that he would be better off going by Thor. Let's see if we can get him to tell it. Matt Thorne was in a band with Dr. Paul. So is it the real Paul Shortino? Well, I don't know. I've never seen the two of them in the same room at the same time. Let's see. Yeah, Lorraine may need to make her pilgrimage to the Whiskey for December show. I think it'd be a good one to go to. Let's see. Some stuff I don't know what you're talking about. Rockin' Roger, for example. I don't know what you're talking about. Bitsy is doing good. I'm not exactly sure where she is, but she's around and she's doing good. Hello, Chris. Chris, I haven't put you in timeout in a while. Let's hope that tonight is a good night for you and your people. Yes, I'm glad to see Bitsy doing better too. What a crazy situation it was. Who will be drumming for Stephen Piercy in Puerto Rico? The answer, Scott Coogan will be drumming for Stephen in Puerto Rico. We're going to talk more about that show in a little bit too. Bitsy only shows up when she needs a little money for treats. That is kind of true. Usually at the end, she makes her appeal for kibble. She's not in her usual spots, but I have to feed her right before every show so that she doesn't chat the whole show away. Jason Green rules. Why, thank you so much. I agree. Randy asks, Jason, what is Johnny Monaco's hairstylist schedule to get a haircut? It would be so much better if you can make an appointment with Johnny Monaco. I'm a ginger, 6'4", so you know Johnny would like me. Well, Johnny is not on the schedule over at Get a Haircut. In fact, I'm the only person whose hair he's ever cut at Get a Haircut, at least that I know of, unless he has a secret job. I'm not sure if he's into 6'4" gingers. I'm sure he's watching, and you can message him on your favorite social media or LinkedIn, and Johnny will get back to you. And thank you again, Manuel. Thank you. If you're a fan of Faulty Towers, Manuel's my favorite character. And I appreciate the super chat. Love to see me interview Don Dokken. Well, it could happen. I'm trying to answer these questions, but I want to tell you guys stuff. Get ready to melt in Puerto Rico. Well, I promise you, Puerto Rico isn't any worse than these other hot hell beds that I've been to. Any news on Waste Some Time merch? I want to talk about this merch. If Sean Clark is in the chat, let me know. I'd like to talk to him because he has merch through T Public. I've thought about doing that. Maybe that's the easiest way to do it. I'd also like to put the Sin City Rejects record out so that you guys could purchase it. A lot of people come up to me at the shows and ask for physical copies of it. They're long sold out. It's available for streaming. Anyway. And hey, Denise, thank you. Yes, it's Denise for Bitsy. And thank you. That'll go to Bitsy. Okay. All right, I've caught up with everybody. Now let's talk about some fun stuff. First of all, I got to talk about Frankenstein for just a second. The first time I was really familiar with Frankenstein's monster, it wasn't Boris Karloff. It was Glenn Strange. Glenn Strange was on one of those westerns. I believe it's Bonanza. And he was in a movie called Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. And in that movie, you had Abbott and Costello. And then you had Frankenstein, played by Glenn Strange. But you had Dracula, played by Bela Lugosi. And then you also had, I think The Mummy might be in that one. It's been a long time. Anyway, that movie, by the way, if you read what happened to the writer, it's one of the most sad and depressing stories. I don't even want to get into it. But so anyway, when I was a kid, I used to watch Abbott and Costello on Sundays afternoons on WPIX Channel 11. And I find that I liked Abbott and Costello movies, and this one had monsters. Well, Bela Lugosi is the only, like Dracula to me. When I think of Dracula, I think of Bela Lugosi. I don't think of these Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Gary Oldman, whoever, none of that shit. It's Bela Lugosi. And then after that, George Hamilton and Blackula. But that's it. Anyway, so I loved that movie growing up, and I found my interest in monsters. And I learned very fast that the monsters are the good guys. The humans who bother the monsters are normally the bad guys. And so as I started watching backwards, I saw Boris Karloff portrayed the Frankenstein monster in at least 3 movies. He's in Frankenstein. He's in The Bride of Frankenstein. And then he is in The Son of Frankenstein, which Donnie Dunnigan, who was on this show, he is actually the grandson of Frankenstein in that movie, Peter von Frankenstein. And he was the voice of Bambi in the movie Bambi. Crazy trivia here. But anyway, I wanted to discuss it. I think Frankenstein is one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Johnny Ramone had told me several times that he believed The Bride of Frankenstein was the best horror movie of all time. Both great. One of the reasons I enjoy having a season pass for Universal Studios Hollywood is when you walk around, you are actually walking around where these movies were filmed. To think that Boris Karloff walked around in the Frankenstein costume right there on the lot is an interesting experience. And it's not just Frankenstein, all the classic movies and horror movies and things like that. So anyway, that's a little bit about Frankenstein on National Frankenstein Day. I planned on talking about Pretty Boy Floyd, not Brittany Fox, but Manuel would like to know what's the latest on the reunion. Well, Billy Childs is going to be here soon, and he can tell us. I don't think it's ever going to happen. That's my opinion. Let's see what else everybody wants to know. Hard for me to read everything, and I want to. Yeah. Okay, someone's asking about the cult. A lot of comments on the cult lately. I really have no interest at all, but I'm sure it's okay. So anyway, let's talk about this Pretty Boy Floyd drama. Stevie Sack Summers has been on the show numerous times. He's been on live. He's been on tape. He's been on the phone. He's always seemed like a stand-up guy, and he's out there touring using the Pretty Boy Floyd name. And I've asked him before, where is Christy Crash Majors? Christy Crash Majors, to my knowledge, is an equal partner in Pretty Boy Floyd. So suddenly, he's also the guitar player. So all of a sudden, Christy Crash Majors takes to his social media, and he has a bone to pick with Stevie Sex Summers, and that bone involves not getting paid. Allegedly, there's a partnership between Chris and Steve that says that they share all revenue in the Pretty Boy Floyd name, 50-50. Now, Chris hasn't performed with the band for quite some time, but I don't think that that's a stipulation. I think he's still supposed to be paid for use of the name and use of merchandise, and merchandise that he says, alleges, his picture is used on. Now, today he posted some evidence, if you will. Now, in full disclosure, I have been in contact with Chris today, so I wanted to make sure that the audience knows that he has an invitation to come on here and tell his side of the story, as does Steve. By the way, I don't pick sides; I just present, and then the court of public appeal will decide. In this case, a actual court may decide as well. It's a shame to see these bands fight with each other. If I could somehow be involved, I would suggest a way that maybe they could settle this without going to arbitration, court, mediation. These are tough things. No one's making as much money as we used to, and it's great that the music's continued. Maybe that friendship has set sail. Maybe they can't play again, but they probably should figure out. And if, as Chris alleges, he's owed for 5 years of back pay, they're going to need to figure that out. Instead of feeding the lawyers all the money, maybe we can arbitrate it right here. I'm not sure. But anyway, the floor is open to them to discuss what's going on. What is going on is in the world of Pretty Boy Floyd. You know, a lot of you follow the big bands and want to know what's going on. So anyway, let's see. So that's a little bit of the latest on Chris. As you know, is a big dummy. He says Jason has no interest in the cult. That explaining kind of odd. Chris, if you tuned in last week, I was here, by the way. I talked about the cult. I find the cult to be incredibly boring. In fact, one of the most boring bands I've ever seen. I've seen them several times. I'm a fan. I like them. I like their music. I haven't listened to anything since maybe Ceremony, I think it was called, whatever came after Sonic Temple. I don't really care. They don't excite me, and I hear they're terrible people, by the way. I don't hear anything nice about, especially Ian Asbury. That's I can't speak for it. I've never met the guy. I have met Billy Duffy a couple of times. I think I worked with him at a charity event, and he was very nice. But anyway, my point is, some of you guys watching are still excited about new music. You can't wait to get your hands on the new Extreme record. I could care less. I want nostalgia. I don't need new. I'm not a fan anymore. Very rare do I hear a new record that I think is any good. Once in a blue moon, I hear something and I go, they still got it. But most of the music that we're fans of on this show that we talk about is dated. Does anyone really need to hear Poison tell us about having a good time anymore? The reason that grunge won is because people were sick of having a good time. No one was feeling to dressing up like ladies. Maybe that's too soon. I don't want to get canceled like Alice Cooper. But maybe it wasn't the happiest times. And you know what? Maybe I think it would be redundant to listen to bands make the same music. Who knows? Maybe the cult just made the new Abbey Road. Maybe I'm the idiot missing out. But it's not for me. Not for me. And Blue Oyster Cult's not for me either. But just for the record, even though I had Albert Bouchard on the show and he was great, it's just not for me. I don't get it. Now Ghost I like. So all you haters, suck it. All right. Okay. Yeah, Sweet Soul Sister was awesome. I'm with you. That's all I need. Let's just stick to the hits. Just play us what we want to hear. American Horse, exactly. A lot of Sweet Soul Sisters, what we're getting. Yeah, Ian Astbury's was in the Doors reunion. That is true, and so was the singer for the band Fuel. None of those guys should have been in the Doors reunion. I'm not against the Doors reunion. I'm actually very much for it. I did go see the one with the Fuel guy. He wasn't great, but I did get to see Ray Manzarek and Robbie Krieger play together and play songs that I think are incredible. Um, Ian Astbury was a better choice than most. I don't think Glenn Danzig was going to do it. If you are fans of trivia, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, when the Doors were inducted, do you know who was the singer for the Doors? Well, the answer is it was Eddie Vedder. He wasn't terrible. Also, maybe not my guy for that. Okay, we're all over the place, and sometimes people get mad when I jump all over the place, but uh, yeah, like Robert, and Robert's entitled to his opinion. He likes to hear new music, even though no new music is ever as good as the old music, and he can't wait for the new Stones. I never need to hear new music from the Stones. If I want to hear a bunch of old guys play the blues, I'll listen to some old blues records. But hey, to each your own. Let's see. Yeah, like here, the new Motley Crue material is going to be awesome. Motley Crue hasn't made a good record since Shout at the Devil. There's no chance I would listen to a Motley Crue record. I've never listened to John Corabi's record with Motley Crue. I've never listened to any of their records. I have no idea. I cashed it in at Dr. Feelgood. I took all my chips and I pushed them in and I said, this record's shit. And am I going to see Vince Neil this week? Oh, yeah, I am. Never mind. Uh, all right, let's see what else everybody is saying. And I hate to be so negative, but somebody has to be. B, who is a member, thank you for being a member, says the PBF guys have been airing their dirty laundry for years, and Christie always starts it. Again, I'm not here to choose sides. If he is in fact a partner and he hasn't been paid for 5 years, maybe I don't know, maybe he has a case. That's for Judge Wapner to decide. Alice Cooper, another guy. I'm not buying any new Alice Cooper music. That Alice Cooper band, a bunch of bozos. Unless Michael Bruce and Dennis Dunaway and whatever the fucking Neil Smith, whatever these guys, unless they're on it, Glenn Buxton from the Dead, I'm not listening. That goes for Hollywood Vampires. That goes for any of it. All right, let's see here. Yeah, The Cure and some edibles. Now you're talking. See? And I would listen to a new record from The Cure. Okay. Chris says, do myself a favor and listen to the new Cult album, Under the Midnight Sun. Look, the more you guys ask, the more I'm tempted. I'm kind of curious now. Could this Cult record be that good? Yeah, Johnny Hit and Run Pauline, X. There's a band for you. And I agree with Joe here. What do you think about the different versions of the Dictators fighting each other over music? It's a little ridiculous. I had Ross the Boss on the show. I've considered having Andy Chernoff on the show, and I've had Albert Bouchard, who is the drummer for the new version, and he is from Loiser Cult. I don't think we need two Dictators, but there was a Dictators before Handsome Dick Manitoba joined, and so maybe one band is going to play that version, and maybe Dick's going to play the other. Can't say for sure. Iggy Pop is another guy I would never listen to a new record from. Just no interest. Electric in Love. Well, there you're talking about the good old days. All right. I always find myself leaning down, and then you can see the my roots. You know what I mean? Not LeVar Burton, but on my hair. Did you guys know O.J. Simpson was in Roots? Sorry. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, on fire tonight. Play the hits. Yes, thank you, Jason. All right. Was Steven pissed that you started filming the New Mexico gig? Not a big deal as he plays music for a living, but amazing to know that dude sold out the Garden once. I'll talk about the tour diary right now. The last episode is from New Mexico. I weighed whether or not I even put it out. Okay. So, as you know, I put out tour diaries every Monday. Well, right now I'm putting them out every Monday and every Friday because I don't have the time to do interviews right now. And for a little while, I had a sick cat, and my own health wasn't really very good to do interviews anyway. So, but I have content to keep this channel going for 50 years. So rest assured. And haters, I'm sorry, but not going anywhere. So when we got to New Mexico, I filmed everything, recorded, and then I thought maybe I can't put this out because sometimes it was ridiculous. I also thought this is the truth. So I decided to edit certain things out of that video. You never see the actual worst of it. And I kept in the part of the video where Steven said, don't use anything that may embarrass us, please. Well, we didn't want to hurt the promoter's feelings or the venue or make the band look bad. I will tell you that that gig paid a lot of money. I would never talk about the exact business here on this show. I'm not stupid. But I don't want people to think that, oh, Stephen Pearcy's desperate. That is not the case. I can tell you that there's a lot of big offers and a lot coming into next year. He's incredibly busy, and he does more than just his solo band. He has other enterprises as well. OfficialStephenPearcy.com, you can see. So I thought I might make this a video just for members, a members only, if you will, like the jacket Clark Griswold wears. I thought about it. And then I realized after watching it that I don't think it hurt any feelings, and I don't think it made anybody look bad. Like I said, I did edit some of it. And I think at the end of the day, it was all in good fun. Steven himself didn't put up with any of that sound check from hell, if you will. He doesn't come to sound check, right? So we went and cleaned it up. By the time Steven got there, it was just another show, and it was fine. So Steven has been extremely supportive of the videos. Tour diaries. I don't want anyone to think that this is me capitalizing on Steven. As you know, this show's been going way longer than I've been touring and putting out tour diaries. So I think you can't just show the good. You got to show it all. Sometimes you've got to take the good, you take the bad, you take them both. And there you have. It's the facts of life. And so that's why I decided to put the video out. It's gotten a really good reaction. In fact, people really enjoy watching some of the more difficult ones and seeing what sometimes it's like. I know a lot of people keep asking me, can you show more of the business? Well, I'm never going to show you collecting money and that sort of thing. That's a private end of it. And obviously, it's also Stephen Pearcy's business. So the majority of touring, the work, is spent in my bed. Sometimes all day and all night, booking flights, making phone calls, advancing shows. As I've said a million times, the tour manager is the most underrated person on the team. Much more important than many of the musicians in any band. Because without a good tour manager, you walk around like the blind. Every band, when they get off the plane that you booked for them, and they get into the car that you arranged to have there for them, and they get to the hotel that you made sure had their rooms. I don't usually pick the hotels, by the way. Occasionally I do. I think actually I don't. The last ones, if the contract says we have to get our own hotels, they make a buyout. I then call Dana Strum and ask him to recommend a hotel. It's been a good strategy so far. But anyway, whether or not the money is correct and how you get it and when you get it, making sure the sound check, these are all things that a tour manager arranges. I never claim to be the best tour manager, but I do my best to keep that job going. And Stephen Pearcy's brand is also part of my job. It's not just, I'm not just the idiot who books the flights. There's a lot of other things that go into it, and preserving Stephen's legacy and brand and being part of that. So therefore, I'm fortunate that he lets me continue the series. We're on like almost episode 40. The last one was like 33, but there's 5 from the cruise and there's 2 from Key West that are separate. So that's 33 plus 7. For those of you who are fans of math, that would be 40. So, and I'm going to get back to your questions in a second, but I wanted to make sure that you knew about the tour diaries. There is a new tour diary coming out this Friday. I've been editing it, and I don't really remember anything about it. I wish I could tell you. Sometimes I feel a little bit like Mitch McConnell. And anyway, so I'm editing the next tour diary now. And after that, there's plenty more to come. We were just in Hannibal, Missouri. I don't know if you guys ever been to Hannibal, Missouri, but it's a nice, quaint little town. It is the home of the childhood home of Mark Twain. And Mark Twain, it's Mark Twain country, and it's really cool. It was a long drive from the airport to Hannibal. And the bill was Vixen, Slaughter, and Stephen Pearcy. There was a rainstorm, a thunder and lightning storm, if you will. It was ridiculous and unbearable. But I wanted to get out there and see the sights the best I can, and I did. They have his whole. They really did a nice job of buying up Mark Twain's whole thing. Becky Thatcher, who was the love interest, I believe, in Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, they actually purchased her house. It's a gift shop now. They have the house that Mark Twain grew up in. They have the white fence that allegedly inspired the famous Tom Sawyer painting the fence, Huck Finn story. That's there. And it's really interesting. And all the locations in Huckleberry Finn, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, they were real places, the caves and the water. And they have a place that shows, it's called Jim's Journey. Jim was the African American in the story at the time. This was a time of slavery. A lot of people considered Mark Twain to be racist. A lot of people considered it time to be now would be canceled. But looking back, a lot of the historians say, and people in the town folk, if you will, told me that Mark Twain was actually one of the first people to share an African American in a human light, because the character of Jim is a good guy and I believe a hero of sorts. It's been a long time since I've read that, but or watched the movie. But anyway, so they have a exhibit about African Americans' journeys in Hannibal, Missouri. It was right next to the hotel. One of the reasons I mentioned it was so close, Jim's Journey. Then up the hill, there's a giant lighthouse, Memorial Lighthouse. Johnny and I and the keyboard player for Vixen, he's such a nice guy, and I just drawing a blank on his name. How do I forget this guy's name? I'm having another McConnell moment. What the fuck is that guy's name? Anyway, the keyboard player for Vixen, he climbed up. If anyone knows, say it in the comments. He climbed up the hill with us in the middle of the night. It was the dumbest idea ever. And then I said, I bet you they have bears here. And those guys told me, there's no bears here. It's too hot. They were wrong. I Googled it. They have black bears. No, I read it. Anyway, so it was a fun trip. The show was almost a rain out. Slaughter ended up going on first to get, they were set up and ready to try to do what they could to help the show. Jeff Blando of Slaughter, he mixes and he has the monitor. Those guys are hands-on. They got a good crew and they took charge and they did their thing. And then Vixen came on and they did the best they can in a rainstorm too. And then after that was Stephen Pearcy. We were in the hotel until 9:30. I think we're supposed to go on at 9, but everything was pushed back and delayed. Outdoor show in the rain, very difficult. But we all had a nice time, and everyone got to go out and explore a little bit. Even Stephen. Stephen's fiance, Christy, she is related to Mark Twain. She is from a long line of if you go back, she's from a family of Samuel Clemens. That is his real name. Anyway, and so everyone got out, and we had some good food, and we had some nice times. And you'll see that tour diary very soon. Let me get to some of your questions and comments. Someone saying cult's cure. I would take the cure of the cult every day. This may or may not be a funny comment on the screen. Let's see here. I would listen, you're saying play a track. I would listen to music with you guys, but because of the money, you cannot. It'd be because of my monetization, if you will. They won't allow it. What were your thoughts on Missouri? Saw you at the hotel. Oh, hi, Adam. How are you? I hope we said hello. I think I gave my thoughts on Hannibal. I really liked it. And I wanted to film as much as possible and show you guys because I don't think I'll ever be back in Hannibal, Missouri. Not that I don't want to be, but I just couldn't think of any circumstance that I would get back there. The country is so big. I want to see everything. One day I'd like to retire and have an RV and travel and continue the My Life on the Road series. One of the biggest compliments, but also one that makes me the most upset, is that people say, I can't understand why you don't have more subscribers. This channel should be huge. Well, there's 300 people watching right now. Have you all liked this video? Have you subscribed? I hope so, because I'd like to keep it going. Hollywood Vampires is a joke. I would agree. Let's see. I saw something about Alice in Chains. People like it. I have no interest. I don't like to see that kind of stuff. Not seeing Stone Temple Pilots either. Let's talk some Gary Richrath. You know, I was one of the final. I saw one of his final performances. He jammed at a bar called Pinky's. I have a picture of him and I was fortunate to meet him. He is the late guitar player for REO Speedwagon. Although the guy they have, Dave Amato, is great also. He does a really great job. You know, I call people who weren't the original guys scabs sometimes. But some guys call it hired guns, know how to do the job. Dave Amato was one of those guys. He's been in that band for so long, and he's not upfront glory hounding. Some bands come to mind. Sometimes these guys, they got these big egos, and they act like it's about them when not one single person bought a ticket to see them. I'm against that kind of behavior. Kelly Hansen. Okay, let's see. Someone mentioning Biohazard. I've invited Evan Seinfeld to be on the show. I know him, but he has not responded. They will be playing the same day that Steven is playing next week at the Blue Ridge Heavy Metal Festival in Alton, Virginia. I'd like to have Richard Hell on. Let's see. Richard Hell of Television is also the last member of the Heartbreakers that is alive. So there you go. Okay. What do you think about Tracy G? He was supposed to be on the show, and we were going back and forth. And he's had some. At the time he had some family issues. I believe there's a beef between Tracy G and the Dio world. Tracy also did not want to play the solos exactly the way they were, and a lot of Dio fans were upset. He may still come on and talk about it, but I don't think he gets along with all of those people. Wayne, thank you for joining the New Mexico video. Brian says it looked like a train wreck. Matt Thorne was hilarious with the updates. Matt was great. Show was fine. Lorena McGull, the New Mexico show, glad they were able to pull that off. Yeah, it was crazy. Tracy Lords / I don't really know. Are we playing like word association? You have to explain it to me. Was the New Mexico Rachel Gidget or not that bad? Joe, I think you got a typo. You're trying to say, was it really that bad? Gig was actually okay. Sound check was rough, and there was some other issues. Gig was fine. And again, it was a very well, all right. So yeah, a lot of people enjoying that one. So thank you. I'm glad you watched it. And yeah, it's good that not every gig is smooth sailing, keeps it real. Well, I mean, it's good for television or YouTube, but sometimes being there is a little difficult. I thank you guys for watching. A lot of people saying positive things. I would tell you, I really wasn't sure about putting the damn thing out. I also didn't know if it was that interesting. I did think Matt was funny, but for the most part, I wasn't sure I was going to put it out. And yeah, there is something to be said about Steven's attitude. He was very positive. He was very positive. Steven has class, yeah. What is your favorite tour diary, Jason? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. It's hard to pick a favorite. I've been thinking about doing a thing where I watch the tour diaries with you. I've been thinking about doing these watch parties where we could watch movies together. Maybe The Toxic Avenger, because I have a long history of trauma. Or Romeo and Juliet, a movie that I wrote a draft of and I'm in. But I thought it would be a fun thing. Maybe one night we'll pick a time, we'll have a slumber party, we'll all put on our PJs, and we'll start the tour diaries at the same time. And we'll watch them and we'll comment right here as we watch the Tortars, and we can talk about our favorite moments. I'll give you some behind the scenes that has never been shared, and we could have a fun old fashioned party. So, as far as which is my favorite, it would take me a minute to think. In the beginning, I edited them and tried to make them slicker and have music. Then I decided just to put everything out. Mm, excuse me. But I'd have to think, unfortunately. And I will say, I was teasing a little bit about memory and Mitch McConnell. It's a sad thing, by the way, even though I'm poking a little fun at it. We need term limits, folks, for both parties. When you're 100 years old and you're obviously suffering from something serious, possibly dementia, Parkinson, and you're going blank for 30, you should no longer have power over in the country. It's not a good thing. So you'll excuse me for joking and jest, but I'm forgetting things as well. Okay. Did you, Johnny Matt, get ill after eating the chicken? No. Knock on wood. Surprisingly, I don't think any of us have ever been sick, the stomach sick. I mean, on the road. So no, it was bad though. Okay. I like the Spinal Tap moments in the Tortars. Thank you. Oh, here's Robert. I'm getting the feeling you're a jackass. It could be me. Jason, your YouTube audio changed about 10 minutes. Echo. Not complaining, just a heads up. Well, sorry I called you an asshole, but take it or leave it. That's how it goes. You know what I mean? I don't have the big budget, that Eddie Trunk has. You know what I mean? This is what you get. Yeah, one guy went in the comments and he said, with all these super chats, I don't know if he actually did that, but with all these super chats you're getting, you should be able to buy that $10 microphone, right? And he goes, unfollowed. And then I blocked him. So obviously he's not that big a fan of the content because it is what it is. What happens is I have microphones. I even have these little clip-ons. When you're in the heat of the moment, when you're out there on the front lines, you don't have time to put on a microphone. I'm using my phone. You know what I mean? At some point, maybe I'll come in with a system. But what I think is good about this show, and what I think that some of you enjoy about this show, is it's really a no bullshit show. I'm not sitting here. There's no script. I have zero notes. There's nothing in front of me. And we're chatting. That's what it's about. I don't think I'm any better than you, well, some of you, but we're chatting, and that's it. And when I'm filming the Tour Diaries, I'm letting you have an exclusive access into my life, which is sometimes interesting, maybe more because of the people around. And that's how it goes. Will I try harder? Possibly. But the next 10 Tour Diaries have been already filmed, and sometimes the sound goes up and sometimes it goes down. I'm not a freaking sound editor. You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't do the. I don't have Dolby Atmos. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a. I'm not a Foley engineer, for Christ's sake. So just deal with it, or don't. See if I care, and that goes for everybody now. I'm so happy the show does well, and I'm so thankful for the people who are loyal, channel members, Patreons, tips, whatever. But I'm certainly not going to sit around and when I'm on the Facebook. I don't know if you kids are on the Facebook. If people post stupid shit, especially politics on either end, I'm deleting you. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. In my imaginary puff and stuff of land, life is happy. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear about bullshit. I don't care. We're all going to be dead soon. Some of us sooner than later. I got things to collect. You know what I mean? This is what matters. This is a new product from Funko. This is called Blockbuster Rewinds. This just came out today. Actually, I think it comes out tomorrow, to be honest. I have an advance. This is the Christmas Vacation Clark Griswold. You guys, if watch at home, you know I'm a collector of toys and things like that. But this one, this is called the clamshell case for my younger viewers. I asked Michelle last night if she knew what a clamshell case is. She said she did. I don't think she did. But anyway, here it is. And inside is a Clark Griswold figure. There's a Chase figure as well. The Chase one, he's wrapped in Christmas lights. You pull the figure out, and it comes with your own Blockbuster video card, Blockbuster Rewind character card, and then on the other side, your Blockbuster membership belongs to whoever the character is. In this case, Clark Griswold, Clark W. Griswold III, if you must know. I would rather a picture of Chevy Chase, but that's probably a licensing issue. Anyway, you put that back in there. Do I think this is the best Funko product? I do not. I do not. Do I think this will last? No. Funko has a lot of misses or stumbles, if you will. The Funko Pop, everybody loves the Funko Pop. I got a few more of these Jason Green Funko Pops to get rid of, by the way. So keep your eyes peeled. Give the money to charity. This thing, I don't know. I had to have it. Will I get another one to see if I get the Chase? It's possible, but there's a reason why I'm sorry that I'm destitute. Okay, let's see what else everybody wants to know about. Oh, well, here's someone who's late. Where's Johnny? Johnny says you don't deserve his company and that therefore he's not here. I like this comment and I think we should send this one to more people. Honestly speaking, because of your tour diaries, I have more interest in RATT, Stephen Piercy live shows more than I have before. We got to tell Stephen that. I agree. A lot of people think, oh, you're just mooching off Stephen. Well, no, I think I'm bringing something to that table as well. Thank you. Stephen should be happy with your channel. It helps some of us listen to RATT again. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I think we're showing that Stephen is in good shape. I've pulled no punches that when I went out with RATT in 2018, 19, whatever, it wasn't very good in my opinion. And Stephen wasn't very healthy. He is now. The last few years, he's been strong. The band is better. They sound better. And there you go. Okay. We want Stephen Pierce for our annual 4th of July concert in our city this year. We had Scott Stapp. Well, Zeke, that would be great. You have to get in contact and we can see if we can make that happen. Next year is already filling up. Mikey Myers, that's a name I like. It's about to be spooky season, as you know, Halloween. Drums and sound and backlines, everything's provided. The band shows up with instruments and that's the end of it. That is another thing that a tour manager has to do. You have to advance it. The agent's supposed to send it, but doesn't always happen. You have to get on them and make sure that they have the appropriate gear. Thank you. This is Gio. Gio, you'll apologize. I can't say your last name properly. I wouldn't want to butcher it. Jason, my goodness, you were a hero to me. I spent my life on tour, and a good tour manager is your best friend, and you, my friend, are the best. Well, that is very kind. And yeah, tour managers everywhere can relate. And believe me, there's plenty who are much better than me. I really started feeling sorry for you guys learning about your flights being canceled. It was worse than you could ever imagine. Much worse. The videos don't explain it enough. Okay. I forgot about RATT until I watched your channel. Found your channel by watching Andy McCoy interview, which was such a good interview. One of my favorites. Andy McCoy was a challenging one. Most people did not get a good interview with him. They also they got a drunk interview with him. I think I got a really good one, and I think that interview, according to the members of Hanoi Rocks, led to the reunion, according to at least 3 members. So, pretty cool. Jason shouldn't mention that he relies on us like Dana Strum to do his job. Well, I don't think he's doing my job. In fact, and Chris, you're an asshole, but I'm going to let you stay a little longer. The key to success is find someone who's been doing something longer and better and learn how to learn from them. In life, you're going to always want someone who gives you an opportunity, and follow them for guidance. And anyway, I appreciate that. Let's see. I have great respect for Stephen. After watching videos, I enjoy the behind the scenes. Thank you. That's Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. I'm really trying to keep up. There's so many people here. This is like a record attendance. We've been over 300 all night. May have missed this, but what is the average merch cut that venues take? That's a fair thing to talk about. Spike, speaking of Spike from the Choir Boys and I have been chatting quite a bit. We're going to have him back soon. Maybe he'll sit in for a show. I think the merch cuts are usually very unfair. Hard versus soft, which is from my other career, if you know what I mean. No, a hard good and a soft good and CDs. For a long time, you couldn't take a cut of people's CD money. Most places don't. If it's audio recordings, you can't take a cut, but sometimes they take 10% of that nowadays. We sell meet and greets. Can you take commission of a meet and greet? I don't know. I will tell you that Sebastian Bach and Bret Michaels and others do their meet and greets on their bus so that the venue has nothing to do with it and can't take a cut of it. Most contracts I see 20 to 25%. Some venues, especially venues for like the city or those kind of things, don't take anything. A lot of cool clubs, a lot of cool promoters. I know they're trying to offset the value, the cost. But anyway, I hope that gave you your question. Metal Guy says, don't make fun of sick people. And I would have to agree, even though I made fun of one. He should be in a home. That's the problem. If you're going to go on TV, you're going to be fair game to be made fun of. And I will let you know that when I start to black out, please make fun of me. That's because I'm stupid enough to come here and do this. This is a sick man. We're talking about Mitch McConnell, and he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be in the office anyway. Term limits, everybody. Come on. All right. And that's not political, by the way. That's humanitarian. Went to a recent Stephen Piercy show because of your channel. Well, thank you. You guys need to let Stephen know that. Okay. Next tour diaries should be shows that I got to see at the end of July. That is true. Lorraine, you're going to be in some of the upcoming episodes, and one of them might be the one that I can't remember that I'm editing. Would you be interested in a show involving Firehouse? Well, do you mean would I work with Firehouse? Do you mean would I have Stephen Piercy? Would Firehouse open for Steve? I don't know. I like Firehouse. I'm a fan. And they're friends. And when I worked with Bobby Blotzer's RATT, they played a lot of shows with us. So whatever. Yeah, I like those guys. God, I'm so behind on the comments. You're talking about things that happened 4 hours ago. I apologize. I really was going to make it just a quick show and get out of here. Karen Ricks just woke up from a dream to see Jason on screen at 2:40 in the morning. I hope I was part of the dream, and I hope I was good, if you know what I mean. Let's see here. Thanks, Jason, for the entertainment and being the new Seinfeld of rock. It's a compliment. Well, I should hope so. I view it as one. Tyson Leslie, thank you, Ray. God, he's such a nice guy, and I feel like such a jerk. Tyson Leslie is the keyboard player for Vixen. He's in other bands too, and he's a talented guy and a very kind guy, and he's in the show. And my mind is just a little bit tough. Vixen is a girl band. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, as far as I know, Tyson identifies as a man. Jeff Blando was at MVP Great Talent. Okay, I'm answering questions that happen. Seems like Stephen never eats with you guys. Why? That's not a bad question. And I'm going to give you a few answers. One, a lot of times he travels with his beautiful fiancée, and they do their own thing. They like to order Uber Eats or whatever, the Grubhub they like to do, or go to their own places. Stephen also doesn't go out a lot, and I will tell you that in some cities, there's a lot of fans hanging out, and people in the hotel lobby, and some eBay going on, and sometimes it's hard to go out. So he likes to stay in. The other thing is when he does come to eat with us in the New Mexico episode, he did come to the table. I don't like to put the camera in his face, especially while he's eating. This is called My Life on the Road for a reason. It's not all about Stephen. So I don't want to be. The hardest thing in my job is putting that camera in people's faces. It's one of the reasons why the sound is sometimes a little off, because I'm trying my best, but not everybody wants that phone in their face. The guys in the band have all taken to it. None of them have to be in it. That's the thing. If anyone told me they don't like whatever, Johnny sometimes doesn't like his angles, but he's okay with it. I chose to be on there, warts and all. It's not easy. No one is so comfortable with with themselves that they look so great that they want to be on camera all the time. I'm filming myself first thing in the morning when I'm in the middle of a diabetic breakdown. But I've chosen to share all of this with you guys, and that's my decision, but it's not everybody else's, if that makes sense. Wow, hello from sunny Maui. I hope everything's okay in Maui, Rico. Thank you for watching. Love the show. Hit the like button, y'all. I agree. Hit the like button. All right. Teenage Head, great song, you know. I saw you in the hotel, had the Monsters of Rock shirt on while you were checking in. Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. I feel like we said hello. I feel like we exchanged pleasantries. Huge Mark Twain fan. Have to go. Well, if you are of Mark Twain, you've got to go to Hannibal. And you got to go to Big Flats, New York. It's not actually Big Flats. I think it's called Elmira. They have the study where he wrote Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, amongst others. And then Hannibal has it, and his grave is there. So there's all kinds of cool stuff if you like Mark Twain. I've taken a new interest in him. Richie Kotzen's wife is the bass player in Vixen. That is correct. That is correct. Wouldn't it be funny if Ricky Rocket banged her? Where is Johnny tonight? He went around the strip shirtless. A few people have not heard, but Johnny is not coming on. He's boycotting right now. He's decided that you are not worthy of his interactions. People were mean to him, and he is. I believe he's starting he's looking for band members for some project that he's going to do locally and things like that. I think he'll be back one day. Lorraine Lewis and I had a fantastic conversation, as we always do, and she is going to be on the show. I got to message her. You reminded me that when I get out of here, I got to message Lorraine because she's going to come on. She's a nice woman and a talented one at that. And yeah, I will tell you that we all were looking at Vixen in the gym when the ladies go down to the gym. We were like peeping Toms. I'll tell you about that in a second. You filmed my wife and I in Ashland. Hopefully it'll be in that tour diary. I bet it will, Todd. Thank you. When you say I filmed you and your wife, this was in a business setting, I assume, right? Because in my other career, sometimes haunts me. This hotel we were in, it has like, it's all open, like a catwalk all around. So you can see everybody's business at every time. And the elevator is a glass elevator. Maybe it's smart for safety, but you know what everyone's doing. You know who went to have seconds at breakfast, and you know who's working out in the gym. The gym has a wide open window. And Britt Lightning, who, if you watched my show last week, someone asked us to play the FMK game, and it was the hardest one I ever played. It was Lita Ford, Nita Strauss, and Britt Lightning. I don't know Britt Lightning, but I chose to marry her. Sometimes you don't have to know somebody. I chose to F around with Lita Ford because she's a legend, and Nita Strauss, not for me. So I wanted to tell her so bad, but I just didn't find the right moment. So I just watched her in the gym. All right. He stole Ricky Rocket's girlfriend. Well, no. He engaged in sexual relationships with Ricky Rocket's fiance, maybe wife. It was pretty serious. And as Bret Michaels said, they threw his bags over the fence and they never wanted to see him again. So that is that. Dave Amato used to be a client of mine, and he's great. I agree. Spirit Medium Daniel, you said you were not going to get back into tour managing, but here you are. Any plans to do any other bands? Good question, Daniel. If that is, in fact, your name. It is. Probably not. I can tell you that there are things with Stephen Pearcy in the works for 2025. Can't tell you what they are, but there's stuff. I believe that will be the end. This is me talking, by the way, so don't go be a big mouth and rat with two T's me out. I think that it's going to end soon. Could be wrong. I don't think I would like to continue tour managing unless I found an artist that I believed in, and they understood. Stephen likes what I do. He doesn't tell me what to do. He likes what I do. Mr. Miyagi once said, "I say you do." That's how he teaches, right? I don't want to work for someone like that I like the person that I worked with in the past who thought they knew everything. I don't want to do that. I would rather be able to apply things. Stephen Piercy doesn't call me every morning. He trusts that I will do the job. And listen, he wants things a certain way, and I've learned them the way he wants them. I don't want to rule it out. I would like to help a band here and there. I used to get calls every now and then. Hey, would you come tour manage us for this one short run or something? That's a possibility. I never want to say never, like I've said before, but I'm not positive. But I have other things to do, and I would like to see. Could you try to get Richard Fortas on sometime? I think I invited him. He hasn't always been the most pleasant. I hate to say that, but I've worked with him on something else. But I who knows? Maybe tour managing. Evan Seinfeld is Ron Jeremy Jr. I'm not sure what that means. Your thoughts on Starcrawl? I never listened to it at all. I hear it's good, so maybe I should. Let's see. And someone's commenting on the noise that my chair makes. My buddy Miguel put this chair together, and I don't know. It's noisy. Miguel, by the way, if you're an old fan of the show, I asked him to come on today. I think he'll be here next week, but he's the world-renowned hot sauce expert, and he will be coming to Puerto Rico. He's going to be the assistant tour manager in Puerto Rico. He is from Puerto Rico, and he's a Boricua, and it'll be fun to have him there and on the tour diaries, and it'll also be great to get the help. Okay, and Chris, thank you so much for the super chat. As a member, I appreciate that. Not sure. Like sometimes I don't know what it means. You should talk about the ones who have a reputation for big egos. Well, I don't know what you're trying to get out of me. I don't know. I would. Oh, here's an interesting one. Jason, now that you have Brett Carlisle and maybe Bob Perret. Well, I've been very hard on scabs. I say I don't like to have guys on that don't matter. You're never going to see certain people from certain bands on this show because they don't matter. Brett Carlisle came on the live show, and I thought he was very good. He's a nice guy, and I think he's very talented. He's also the lead singer. It's not like he's the backup guy. He's not going anywhere, I don't think, although I bet you bands are looking for him. Bob Perret of Kix is about to be out of work. By the way, I like the guy. Talented guitar player, but Kix is going to play their final show. Eddie Trunk interviewed some of them way after I did, and Ronnie Youngkins is only going to play 3 songs. He should play the whole show. He's the guy. It's his band. You know, he was one of the founding guys. But whatever. He's had issues. He's been on the show. He was great. Brad Divins is going to be there. He played guitar on the Cool Kids record. He was on in Rothschild America. I'm sure Bob's a great guy. Do I think he'd be a great interview? I don't know. What's going on? Denise, go find out what he's got going on after. If you're going to tell me he's got a Rush cover band, I think I'm going to pass. But anyway. What was your first punk show in New York City? The Ramones at the Ritz, New York City's Ritz, Studio 54. By the way, just to wrap up on Bob Perret, he played a live solo when I saw Kix last, and it was really good. I thought, guitar solos are so stupid and overdone. His was really good. I don't want it to sound like I don't like the guy. I just try to put people on that are going to get views, and the original members of Kix don't get that many views. And Steve Whiteman was one of my most underrated interviews. No one gave a fuck. The other guy, Brian Forsythe, we had a good interview. But he was very honest. Okay. The Ramones. It's funny as I saw the Ramones, I believe with Rothschild America, which had Brad Divins. But that would be the first punk show I saw, I think. All right, let's see what else we got. I'm trying to keep up with your questions. Oh, love your show. Well, thank you. That would be a statement, and I appreciate it a lot. New Mexico is amazing. Longer the better. A lot of you are telling me to keep putting out longer tour diaries. So Chris says he was accidentally put on timeout for some reason. Jay reminds us it's never by accident. So 3 Pistol 7 is up for, and thank you for being a channel member, is up for a Tour Diary Marathon. Let's do it. Watch party. Let's do it. I think it's coming soon. Well, subject, Bob Barker. It's a great subject. I am a fan of Bob Barker. I know that Bob Barker got a little fresh with the ladies back in the day. he probably would be canceled by today's circumstances. How many of us grew up, had a little cold or faked one, and stayed home and drank ginger ale and Lipton soup and watched the great Bob Barker. He was incredible. And if you have a thing called the Pluto channel, they show Price is Right. Bob Barker. You can turn it on anytime and watch a full marathon. It's great. And the early Price is Right was just incredible. And it's complete. His kissing and all the touching is completely inappropriate, and that makes it great. Okay, epic movie night. You guys are in. Let's do this. Let's set it up. And yes, thankfully the dingo did not attack us. Johnny Topless was funny as hell. I give Johnny credit. I would have done it. Uh, and hearing behind the scenes would be great. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. We can do it in a private fashion, and we can talk about. I'll tell you some secrets. Okay. Chris is fighting with the mods. Make sure it's not 3 in the morning. Well, I'll try. You're in a different. You're across the pond, if you will. You have a good thing going. Subs will come. Maybe fluctuate your tone a bit and smile. Every now and then, you started good, Jared, if that is in fact your real name, Carney, Jared Concarney. You got a good thing going. Okay, that's true. Subs will come. Well, I've proven that. That's true. But you could have just stopped. Maybe fluctuate your tone. Well, my tone, my skin tone, and smile. Well, I don't like to smile. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. I think I'm doing all right. And yes, term limits should be mandatory for everybody. Let's not choose sides. All right. When in doubt, put it out. Thank you, Joe. Good advice. I hope we're talking about the same thing. But yeah, I trust me. One of the hardest parts of the videos is this worth putting out? One of the guys I know says that he hates the Torah diaries, and yet you guys seem to love it, and they seem to get a lot of views, for over 150,000 views for those Torah diaries now. So it's hard for me but every time I put it out, people like it. So as Joe in Seattle says, when in doubt, put it out. Joe, we're going to be in the Washington area. I hope you will come to that show. Official Stephen Piercy for Dots. Would Stephen ever consider doing an online concert again like he did that year? I think he might. I think we're just so busy. He has other things too, but I think it could happen. Let's see. Term limits, even if someone passes, wouldn't work if a dude starts out 75 years old in his first term. Well, that's why you can't allow that. I mean, you could, if people are stupid enough to elect people like that, that's on them. People need to use more common sense. And once you black out, it's time to be removed from office. That's it. What Mitch McConnell is dealing with is very sad, but this is not a one-time thing. The people like to criticize the president, and that's your choice. We're in America, and we can believe and like whoever the hell we want. I like that about this country, and we can say what we want, or we should be able to. I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I think that Alice Cooper's got a makeup line, and because he doesn't, he said something that a group didn't like. Now he's lost it. I don't believe in that. But when you're blacking out, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of people like to insult other people for being older. I don't know, but I would like to see some younger people. This country belongs to young people. Somebody made a good point to me, and that point that they made was these people who are voting on our issues aren't even going to be alive in 10 years. Some of them much less than 5 years. So we need to think about the future, and I think we should be voting for some young people. Not to get political. I don't think I am. Chris likes it raw and uncut. I'm excited for the Toxic Avenger 4K. I am too, and I heard a rumor that there is going to be a Toxic Avenger Funko Pop. I'm hoping it's not a little one, Peter Dinklage. I'm hoping it's the real one. Ricky Rocket's ex plays bass in Vixen. No. This is how rumors get started. The bass player for Vixen is Richie Kotzen's wife, But Richie Kotzen is best known for having an affair with Ricky Rocket's wife. I think I described that adequately. Ron Zeller says what I'm doing is just fine. Jay Robert says 100%. I'm so behind, so I'm answering things that happened a long uh, time ago. So I apologize. It's okay, Robert. All good. Will Stephen play the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa? I wish. That is this place that I want to go to. The Surf Ballroom is the home of the last concert. It's where the music died, and I would love to see it. It's been kept well intact, and yeah, I would love to go there. You should be out here in Hawaii. That doesn't sound like it's a good time unless you want me to come out there and volunteer to help. I would do it, but it sounds like a very tough time. Exactly. That's why I dig this show, Jason. It's cool. Thank you. The show is warts and all, and that's what we love about it. Well, thank you. Love the tour guys just the way they are, enjoying our Wednesday chats. My first live one. Well, that's great, Lorraine. Thank you so much. We've known each other for a while now, and I'm glad you like it. Don't change a thing. This is the best show on YouTube. I appreciate it, guys, and I appreciate if you and thank you. Love you too, Denise. Much appreciated. The people on the planes trying to figure out what's going on is fun. There's usually a Karen behind me and Johnny, Agent Orange, raw and real, no filters, no sound. Thank you. Coffee enthusiast. I avoid my Facebook. I get it. Show is perfect. Thank you. David Rosbach. I think that's how you say it. I hope you guys are real. And thank you for that. And I will point out, I'm not here to shake you guys down for super chats, but it certainly helps. You know, the goal is to make this a career. The goal is to build the show. I would like to keep doing these chats and keep them as raw as possible. But I'd also like to start to have themes. That's why I'm saying we're going to have some co-hosts come in and do some things and show off some things. And you know, it's hard for me to plan content when we're doing so much on the road. Yeah, Bitsy came back, but she went to sleep. Let's see. So thank you. And thank you for all these nice words. I appreciate it. Look, we're having some fun together. We're having some fun. And that's good. That's good. Life is so full of bullshit. Why don't we... I'm behind on your comments, and I apologize. Devo or Bell Biv Devo? I like Bell Biv Devo, but I'm gonna go with Devo on that one. Do you play music anymore? I may be announcing some secret things that are not going to be so secret when I announce them, but I would like to. I would like to play some more music. I'd like to do more things, put my record out again for you guys. So, yes. And Denise misses JM. I'm not sure who she is referring to, but I understand. Desmond was employed at a Blockbuster for adults. Sounds like a I don't know if you can say the P word. Okay, I'm trying to get through your things. I'm trying. Actually, it's a crime to admit you haven't seen vacation movies in my family. Well, listen, I speak National Lampoon's Vacation fluently. In fact, when we were on the Mississippi, I had to refer to it as the Old Man, the Old Miss, the Mighty Mississippi, and sing Deep River. But not everyone in my life, my life partner or others, share my love for the vacation movies. But hey, I love it. I love it. I can't get left. We really enjoy seeing Sepp and everyone. So much fun, interesting. Christy is great. Love Bear and Charles too. Yes, all great. Chris says, I'm rat curious after all the hoopla via the JG shows. Well, thank you. And hello to you. And Lidsville is a great old school television reference. I always rewinded my VHS tapes before returning them. That's good. When I was a boy, they would fine you if you didn't. Hey, Vito Brada is here. Thank you, Vito. Hey, $1.49. Vito, I'm going to put out a picture of us. I'm going to do that right after this show. You guys want to see a special picture? Go to my Instagram. You're going to see a picture of me and the guys from White Lion from roughly 1927. I've never before seen. So if you're not following me on Instagram, this is how you do it. JSIN _ GREEN. Jason Green. You'll find it. Just look me up. I'm told that if I'm going to be an important content creator or an influencer of, now I'm listening to the chair make noise, of sorts, then you got to have more Instagram followers. You can share links and all that shit. All right. I'm really impressed the way Steven is running things. Band is tight. Get out to New Jersey. Saw RATT in New Jersey before the thing. Piercy would kill you. Thank you. Great. Yes, true. Johnny had to step away for his mental health. That is true. Johnny told me such a good story this morning, and I want to tell it. I want to tell you. It involves him and an interaction with Chip Zenough, and I would love to share it. He didn't tell me I could, so I'm not. Fess up, you buy the middle seat. No, I wish I had the money to do that, though. Does Bobby Blotzer have FU money? No, I wouldn't say that. No. Okay. Is my mama happy I'm back on weekly? I don't know. She's very angry with me. As I said in the past, my mother thinks that she's Robert Evans sometimes, a Hollywood mogul, and she wants things a certain way. She's like a Fred DeCorva or whatever, the producer of Johnny Carson was, or Gelman. Hopefully she's watching right now. Mom, if you're watching, I hope that you approve of this episode. I hope you approve of everything that's happening. I know I didn't get my gift of gab from you, or my father for that matter, but and I'll call you. I did text her last night. She was sleeping, and she texted me and said, "Don't call this number ever again." Okay. Boy, I'm so behind on the comments. And again, over 300 people the entire time. That's a lot. Dave C. Hello, Jason. Watching video time. Saw you last September and October in Hinckley, Minnesota. Great. Thank you. I'm sure we had a fantastic meeting. What guest had the most surprising story for you? A crazy story you didn't expect from that guest? A Party Like a Rock Star podcast. Thank you. And I would like to check out your podcast as well. That's a great question. Really good question. I'm bad at this. People have been asking me constantly to come on their talk shows and their podcasts, and I feel like I do that here. And I feel like sometimes people ask you to come on, they got 10 subscribers, and they think I come on there and all of a sudden they're going to have 15,000. That's not always the way it works. I wish I could bring everybody subscribers. It doesn't work that way. You have something that people relate to, or you don't. Or you work at it. This is a full-time job. Trust me. I look like I'm just sitting here shooting the shit with you, but this is a job. And anyway, story that shocked me. I'd really have to think. There were some really good moments. I want to write a book about how this show started and how I kind of weaseled my way into interviewing people and what it took and how it became so successful, because it is. We're approaching 3 million views, over 15,000 subscribers. That hair is bothering me. I apologize. I'd have to look at a list of the guests that have been on the show and then remember. But there were some stories and moments when I went in my mind, like, oh, shit. Oh, and things that I knew were probably going to be controversial. I just can't. I apologize. I would like to answer. Miguel could be your co-host. He could. He might be here soon. That metal guy is angry with our words about Tyson. Tyson is not a member of Vixen. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. He's on stage with Vixen. He plays the keyboards and he sings with Vixen. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's in Vixen. You want to say he's with Vixen? Phrase it how you like. Guitar player from Quiet Riot played in a version of Rat. Yes, Carlos Cavazo played in Rat after Robert Crosby had passed many years later. Michael Schenker was there first. But yes, and maybe one day Carlos would be back. Who knows? Can't tell you. Did you watch The Pope's Exorcist? If so, did you like it? I didn't watch it. I think Johnny watched it on the plane. I don't like those kind of movies usually. I'm not a fan of haunted dolls, except for Robert, the one that I met, still paying for it. And that's not my thing really. But maybe it's good. Um, Carlos was on Rat's Infestation album, an album that I think stinks, by the way. Don't tell Steven. I'll see you in Puerto Rico. That's what I'm happy to hear. Marco Molina, thank you so much, Marco. I will tell you, I'm excited to be in your country. It is a U.S. territory, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not kidding. I went to school in New York City. My neighborhood had just as many Puerto Ricans as Puerto Rico does. My school was in Spanish Harlem. I am not being funny. I feel like a Boricua at heart. My childhood friend Miguel will be there with us, and I'm looking forward to meeting some people in Puerto Rico. The experience is something that I'm interested in. So thank you, Marco. I hope that we get to say hello. Mr. Malu, hello from downtown Bangkok. Wow, one night in Bangkok. Sounds so violent. There was another question. Oh, Jesus. Jason says we just hit the hour mark. It's an hour and 26. Jason, why don't you tell me sooner? I got to get out of here. Does Stephen eat with you guys? I answered that question. 126 likes out of 294 watching is a good average. Not a good average. That's right. Q Reich 1960. Hit the like button. I got to get out of here soon. Do you guys get up early enough for the free breakfast at Lowe's house? Joe, that's a good question. Some people you will never see at breakfast. There's certain members of the band that never miss the free breakfast. Eric will never miss a free breakfast. I don't think. He is up. He goes to bed early, though, too. And he doesn't go out and lollygag. So he likes a good free breakfast. I've never seen Steven at the free breakfast. Rarely see Coogan at the free breakfast. He's not usually awake. Johnny Monaco, sometimes. He likes to drink coffee, but you don't always see him at the breakfast. I try. Many times in my world of rat travels, I go to the breakfast when it first opens. So let's say breakfast starts at 5. I can't tell you how many times I haven't been to bed and go for that free breakfast. All right. Let's see. All right, I'm going to try to go through these fast because I know you guys got to get out of here. Zeke says he's going to talk to the mayor. It's a big event for our town in Ohio. We also had Eddie Money, Berlin, John Waite, Steve Percy. Be great. All right. Well, let's talk about it. It'd be nice. How is Bitsy? Most important question. She's sleeping right now, but she's okay. Oh man, some of these questions are from hours ago. Okay. Brent Lightning, does Jan K. Proud Jan is the lead guitar player for Vixen. Vixen is hotter now than in their heyday. Well, I mean, the women in Vixen now are 20 something years younger than the women in the original Vixen. No offense to any of them. Why don't you like Nita? I used to manage her. Lorraine is concerned. She's not going to be okay when Steven stops touring. I understand. Go see as many shows as you can. Okay. Roxy and I have discussed it. I don't know what happened, but I'm sure she'll be here. Jason, could you bring the Sin City Center guest to Riverside Theater in Laughlin, 500 Street for Thursday, Sunday? This is all possible, but you have to message me. But all of that is possible, yeah. Sin City Center is All Stars. It is available. It can be done, and it is owned by me. I think Miguel said he was going. I don't even know what that means. Hold on. Let me think about it for a second. Oh, I put you in timeout. Sorry. Okay, I'm trying. I really don't want to leave until I've got to everybody. Do you see yourself work receive in some form after he comes off the road? Yes. Yeah. Stephen and Christy and I have all been in discussions about other things, and I do other things with them besides tour manage. So yeah, I think so. Okay, I'm trying. I'm trying. Okay, FMK, a game I like to play, and these are good choices. Janine Linden Muller, Janine Linden Muller. I think it's Muller. Maybe you're right. Chasey Lane and Christy Canyon. This is a good one. It's a tough one. I am friends with one of them pretty good, and the other two I've worked with but don't know that well. Anyway, how do you know I haven't already been there? This is tough. I'm gonna marry Christy Canyon. Christy Canyon is a friend of mine. Christy Canyon was one of the first women that I ever saw on public access television unclothed. Mm, she still looks great. I mean, I'm guessing Christy Canyon is 55 or more. So I'm going with her. Now, I was a big Chasey Lane fan. Oh, and I've been in contact with her about doing a memorabilia type thing. She's had some tough times. Sometimes I would do it just to say I did it. And in this case, I'm going with Janine. I'm sorry to Chasey. Don't tell her I said that. Okay, so I did that one. Someone asked again. Yeah. There's some other people in the chat are playing along at home. They have similar answers. Do you have any Rhonda Shear stories? Not really. I appeared on a TV show called USA Up All Night when I was younger. When I worked for Trauma, I would play a character called Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD. He was the first accidental Oriental crime fighting superhero. In this day and age, I probably couldn't even portray him. It would not be politically correct. But I did that for Trauma for a number of years. And the idea would be the Toxic Avenger and Kabuki Man were like the mascots of Trauma, like Mickey and Goofy. And we hosted some things, and I had met her. And basically, I would say, hey, everybody, I'm Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD, the first accidental Oriental crime fighting superhero. And you're watching USA Up All Night, things like that. Stay tuned for Nymphoid Barbarian in Dinosaur Hell right here on USA. I did a lot of those. They're called wraparounds in the business, to use a little Hollywood talk. So I did that for a long time. And at one point, when I was doing those, Rhonda Shear hosted this show for a long time. And we'd be on it with her or sub for her. Anyway, I wore the Toxic Avenger costume because they had this big guy, but he was a terrible actor and terrible reader of lines. So I would wear the mask, and the mask has a fake eye, so you can only see through one eye. And I would read the lines, and the Toxic Avenger actor would then come in and just be there for the wide shot because he was buff. And in that case, I would say, I used to be Melvin, a 98-pound mop boy nerd, until I turned into a hideously deformed creature of superhuman size and strength. Stay tuned for Surf Nazis Must Die right here on USA Up All Night. So those are that's the closest I can give you to a Rhonda Shear story that I worked on a thing that she worked at. Hey, this is good news. Coffee enthusiast, congratulations, member for 4 months. I feel like we need to give you a prize. Co-host sounds like a good idea. Glad you and Bitsy fun better. We should come up with a prize. Whoever, Jay, Sin City, make a note. We should send her something because I believe it's a she because the picture is a woman. I want to reward people who have been channel members the longest time. What I'm doing is I'm getting other people involved in helping so we can get things out to people faster. It's hard for me to do as much as I do, believe it or not. All right, anyway, thank you. Jay Roberts has a criticism. The only criticism I could come up with the Twitter is I wish they were longer. Well, okay, that's a good one. Thank you. Yes, excuse me. Home speaking vacation. Who was your favorite drummer? I'd have to give it some thought. Favorite vacation movie? Thank you, Mark. They work in order. I start with the first one, second one, third one. That's the order. I don't think Christmas Vacation was the best, and when I saw it, I actually disliked it because I was disappointed that it wasn't anything like the first two. Now it's grown on me. It's a part of life. It's on every year. I've got every Christmas vacation collectible you could think of, and one day I will show those. You'll be impressed with my collection of vacation memorabilia. Johnny, if I see you at the whiskey, will you sign my face? But Johnny's not here, but if he's watching at home, I'm sure he would like to sign your face. And all these people saying hello to Vito. Oh boy, that was an hour ago. Holy shit. Thank you, Sin City Photog. He's got a YouTube channel you can check out too, especially if you like big booty girls giving car washes. Anyway, there's my Instagram link. Go to it. Okay. Oh, hey, California Dreaming, a new member. That makes me happy. Please, guys, become members. I'm promising you that there's going to be more content. I know I was on a little sabbatical, if you will, a black sabbatical, but I'm back, and I'm going to start giving content to channel members early. You'll watch it toward hour before anyone else. So welcome, California Dreaming. By the way, there's an unreleased version of California Dreaming from the Sin City Rejects album. Maybe I'll put that out as a bonus cut. I didn't really like it at the time, but what the hell, it's sitting around. Julie Newmar turned 90. Well, Barbara Eden turned 92. Let's get a threesome going, right? Come on. I'm not angry. Vixen has used many onstage keyboard players. Well, listen, that's not fair to say. He's there now, and he's been there for a long time. And so let's not hate on him because he's a man. Did you enjoy Chicago? I did. I did not have a super dog, but I did have a bunch of Chicago dogs. I went to Bill Murray's family restaurant. It's all coming up. Did you see the Choir Boys when you were younger? No, never. Any more pineapple sightings upside down? No, that means swinging. I will be on a couple more cruises. I can't completely announce all of them, but yes. Do you speak Spanish? My husband grew up in Puerto Rico. Lorraine, that's great. I do not speak fluent Spanish, a little bit, because I grew up around Puerto Ricanos and Boricuas, but no. David grew up in and was born in Puerto Rico. Is Miguel on Instagram or Twitter? I think so. I don't know. I think he is. He was supposed to be here tonight. Maybe next time. Question: with gear for gigs is flown in, is truck transported or hire? Just interest in logistics. Hold on. No, the gear's rented. It's local. They just drive it in trucks. It's there before we even get there. Jason, give us a trivia question of Christmas Vacation. I mean, I don't know if you want me to ask a question to stump you, but just a little bit of trivia that you should all know already. Aunt Bethany was the original voice of Betty Boop. There's a little trivia for you. Does Steven ever get nervous before a show? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, he's got a little, he gets like a slight jitter, but I don't think, wow, there's a good super chat. On my TV, I see the current stuff, so okay. But I think he's done it. How many roadies travel with you? None. None. Me. I do it all. Sometimes you have local crew who help out. Okay. Wow, did we ban Chris? That's crazy. That's extreme. Wow. Jay, did it get so bad that we had to ban him? All right. Love Danish Gentleman. Me too. Have you ever heard of the band Stolen Prayer? I have not. Christy Canyon is 57. I'd hit it all day long. These acts are getting old. Mitch McConnell, how many bands do you want to see out there like Quiet Riot right now? Okay. Who would you rather is not usually how the game is played. You have to have a third choice. If you add a third choice, I'll think about it. You're saying Great Cat or Nita Strauss. I would say Great Cat, but you got to add a third. So you know Jenna Jameson. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We're not best friends, but I met Jenna Jameson in France at the Cannes Film Festival. We went to a thing called the Hot Door. No one knew who she was. It was 1995. It was May. And I thought she was so beautiful. I thought she was too beautiful to be in the line of work that she was. She always wore a hat. She still does that a lot. I think there was something about her hair that she didn't like. And I was there with a guy named John Wayne Bobbitt promoting a movie that I, at one point, had the rights to called Uncut. And we went to this event, and he was being honored, and me and another friend, and I was with Trauma at the time as well. And we hung out with Jenna Jameson, and she went to the bathroom with a young woman named Felicia, and they might have gotten a little fresh, if you know what I mean, for anyone who wanted to watch, including me. And I've seen her over the years, and I would show her that picture, and we chatted. Now, do I think we'd have a conversation now? Probably not. She didn't remember me, but and when I worked for Vivid for a little while, anyway, yes, coffee enthusiast is a she, so I was correct. And yes, thank you to the new members. Mimi Van Dorn is 92. Well, what do you know? 300 people here and 165 likes. Got to work on that. And thank you, Big Ben Parliament. Can't get left. Thank you for the super chat. I did take Spanish in high school. Correct. What grade did you get? D? No, D's not passing. I passed. I graduated. Great to see Lorraine. Yeah, I'm going to message her right as soon as I get out of here. Jason, will you have more Patreon openings for the sold out category? Denise, great question. I didn't even realize that one was sold out. So I would like to add more. Oh, okay. Oh, he's not banned. Okay. Sorry. Hey, listen, Chris, sorry. Jay's got to be tough on you, though. But he did not ban you yet. Got to keep an eye on things. But okay, I'm glad he's still here. Hey, William's here. William Dodson. Great to see you. Okay, I think I made it up through the chat. And that's a lot of comments. Bobby Brown interview. This is something that's been discussed several times. She goes back and forth. I do know her. We've done events together. Stevie Rochelle's friends with her, also put in a good word. She's a bit religious right now. I don't mean that as a negative, but she has found God, and I think that's more of her. I don't think talking about some of the old stuff is what she wants now, if that makes sense. Anyway, guys, we've been here for 1 hour 42 minutes. I'll tell you, right before I do the show, I think to myself, who's going to watch this shit? And what am I going to talk about? I'm here by myself, except for Bitsy, thank God. And who cares? Who cares what I have to say? And I wanted to talk about some current events, and then I forgot about them. And then I wanted to talk about what's going on in the rock and roll world. I was going to talk about the controversial Alice Cooper decision. Some people told me not to. I'm not scared, but we're running out of time. We are running out of time. What does this say? This is Rob. When you're being asked personal questions, I love your honesty, boy. Not sure why the boy part was there, but well, thank you. You get nothing but honesty on this show. In fact, you get too much honesty. I tell you too much. 261 to the end. Okay, well, we're wrapping up. Good shot, Jansen. I love you as well. I'm not afraid to share love. I will be in Los Angeles sharing love this weekend. So if anyone has any exciting plans in between my top secret business venture, I will be at the Rainbow Bar and Grill Bash to support my friends in Slaughter and my good friend Frank Domino of Angel. Don't care about anybody else. And it's been a great show. Did you guys have a good time? I had a good time. Therapy is so expensive. And when you go to therapy, if you've ever been, you start to look at the clock. And I found myself kind of running the clock out. And if you suffer from anxiety or depression, as I do, now I'm okay right now, but once you suffer, you always suffer. The problem with therapy is I would go and I would feel okay. You can't always predict when you're going to feel crazy. I shouldn't say crazy. It's not fair. Nuts. And so I would get there and sit there, and then they ask you, how does that make you feel? And you say how it makes you feel. And I stand there and look at that clock. Then I find myself performing. I'm like, oh, this poor schmuck. Let me tell some jokes, you know? And then I'm talking about my life and I'm telling jokes, and they sit there with that fucking pad, and sketching. And so this is my therapy. I like to sit here and chat with you folks and uh, talk. What happened to Michelle, your friend? Well, what do you mean? What happened to her? Michelle is incredibly smart and incredibly talented, and really doesn't have time for this bullshit. Uh, um, she's going to be a lawyer soon. Out of all the women who've been in my life, most have frequented the bar, but none have passed the bar. And Michelle is incredible, and she'll be around. She's got things to do, but she'll be around. She'll be at the Rainbow Bar and Bash. I'll tell you that much. Yasmin, or Yasmin, as the case may be, however you like me to say it. Great show tonight, Jason. Thank you. I thought it was a great night as well. Diet and exercise help more than people think. I agree, Chris. Never thought I'd say that. I agree, Jim. Thank you. Time well wasted. Thank you so much. A lot of people are discussing Emmanuel in Bangkok. I don't really remember it that well. Okay. What are the politics to get RATT Motley Crue on a world tour? I mean, they're ridiculous. It would be great. I mean, that's what people want to see. People would love to see a reformed RATT with Motley Crue, of course. You would need a bigger band like Def Leppard to headline. The days of Motley Crue headlining a stadium are over. It's over, Johnny. It's over. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? And if it does, it's because there's 50 bands supporting. Def Leppard sold a lot more records than Motley Crue ever could. 2 Diamond Awards. I mean, that's insane. Anyway, Michelle is a delight. Yes, she is. Do you ever miss New York? Not often enough. I would like to get back to New York, but did you see the Michael Monroe documentary? I have not. I would like to see that. Lorraine, thank you. It was nice hanging out with you as well. Anyone has anything else to say? Now is your chance to forever hold your peace. And if anyone would like to support Bitsy's Kibble Fund, you're more than welcome. There will be, and if you do, maybe Bitsy will make an appearance. Jason, were you in the AOL chat rooms in the 90s? I was. Did we chat? Did you send me nudes? I don't know if you can say that. Okay. Rob loves the tour diaries, and as I said, there'll be another one Friday. Mark, I'm sorry to hear it. I understand anxiety and depression are tough things. One of the things, I'm not really here for advice, but one of the things that is important to remember is that even though when days seem bad, you can't predict when there'll be one that seems so good. There's always some good times ahead. So therefore, we hang out. And okay, well, Denise says no, so that's the only thing I remember for sure about the AOL days. Did Sullivan and Golden Robot drop LA Guns? I'd love to know. I texted Sky Griffin, he didn't tell me. And here's all that really matters. Brian Kirk, channel member, thank you so much. And let's get Bitsy in here to say goodnight with us. Thank you. And does Friday's tour diary have the York show? Yes. Thank you. Was it Brian who said that? No, Brian was nice enough to super chat. I'm going to get Bitsy. Randy, yes, it's York, Pennsylvania. We went to the fair with Matt Thorne and his lovely wife Ramel, and we went on it was couples night. So Matt and his wife and me and Johnny went on the Ferris wheel, and we looked for food. And there's a special appearance by Kix. And yeah, York, Pennsylvania is next. Thank you. Randy's got a great line. The nudes are still downloading from the chat. Yeah, I remember it would take so long, hours, to see something. Oh, it was terrible. Okay, let's get Bitsy. Thank you, guys. Oh, no, raw footage just got here. Raw footage, go back and watch the rest, please. you missed a really highbrow conversation. All right, hold on. Everybody talk amongst themselves. Bitsy, come on, baby girl. Come on, sweetie. All right, there she is. That's the real star of the show. Bitsy, look into the camera and say hello. Now, she just woke up. Normally, she would not be sitting through this nonsense. Boy, Bitsy, you are a good-looking kitty. This is my real therapy. I enjoy talking on the show, but the fact that Bitsy continues to keep on keeping on in the craziest fashions. They've tried to euthanize her. They've tried the royal they, but Bitsy just keeps fighting. And in human years, Bitsy would probably be, 612. And I'm so glad because I really thought it was over. And the doctors predicted it was over as well. And yeah, if you don't have a good pet in your life, I feel bad because I'm very fortunate to have Bitsy. And yeah, okay. And yes, Bitsy's pretty tough. She's pretty tough. All right. Jason, your channel puts a smile on my face and tortoise made me laugh. You and John are so funny. Thank you, Mark. And yes, Michael, thank you so much. Say real quick, I was sort of worried about putting Bitsy on the show, or we were going to make like a Bitsy T-shirt, and I was like, well, I'm going to be so sad when Bitsy's not around that I don't know what I want to do. Although I would like to put together a little foundation and raise some money for people who can't afford their vet bills and these type of things, to save some animals in some of these shelters, to buy some food. We will do that. I've had a long entrepreneurial career, if you will, raised a lot of money for some great charities. And so this Christmas, we'll get back into that spirit. Thanksgiving, Christmas, that time of year. We can finally do some events, and maybe we can do some events in person again. I used to play concerts every year and give all the money to Toys for Tots. So these are things that I think could happen again. And makes me happy to hear about everybody's pets and all those things. So, and thank you, Susan, and thank you, everybody. And Bitsy is definitely the miracle kitty. I was trying to go to 2 hours, and I think I will. It's 1:52, 48. I have no idea what I'm going to have for dinner, but we'll see. Yeah, Brian has a diabetic dog. Trust me, I completely understand. I'm with my diabetes myself. Let's see. George is saying hello to Bitsy. Will Cher Ross ever do an interview? Cher Ross and I have discussed this a lot. She pretty much told me that when she has a new project, that I think she's working on something, that she would come on. You guys ever have the A&W zero sugar cream soda? It's pretty good. So I think she will come on. Yeah, it's this was the question I was looking for. I clicked on the wrong one, but I think she will do the interview at some point, as will Roxy and everyone else. Vixen has some dysfunction, I think. Maybe Tyson Leslie will come on, even though some of you are offended. What city were you in when you played the Wonder Woman slot machine? I love the music. Well, that's Bendito Hidalgo. I played the Wonder Woman slot machine in a few cities in Tour Diaries. I played it at the Mohican Sun, which can't really tell you this, but maybe Stephen Piercy will be back there soon. Maybe. But anyway, I played it there. And the video you're probably thinking of was the Washington. No, it was Sacramento. I played in Sacramento and I won a bit of money. The Wonder Woman theme song, the bass line, was played by a woman named Carol Kay. She's known as the chick with the pick. She was in the Wrecking Crew. She's one of the greatest bass players of all time. And you can see her teaching Gene Simmons online. Anyway, that Wonder Woman bass line's great. I learned it myself. And it was great to see you in Hannibal, and great show as always. All right, thank you. I agree. Thank you. It's great to see you. We have 5 minutes. I'm going to let you guys spend it as you will. Anything you want to do, we can do. 5 minutes. And if you guys are really into the the watch party ideas, well, then we can do it. We can do a movie night together. Let's figure this out. And a couple of plugs to get out of the way. Friday night, we will. I like this one. If you ever want to interview Charo or Zodiac Mind Warp, let me know. Charo, you mean Coochie Coochie from the Love Boat? Sign me up. Sign me up. Steve Stevens, yeah, it's a possibility. Leif Garrett would be great. I want Leif Garrett. If you know Leif Garrett, let's do it. He was on The Odd Couple, my favorite show. He played Leonard Unger in an episode. Anyway, Friday, new tour diary from York, Pennsylvania. Vince Neil's in it. Vixen's in it. The Bellas are in it. The sexy, dare I say, sexy Bellas are in it, and all your other favorites that you've known to grow and love. And so we're gonna do that, and that's Friday, and then I'll be on the road next week. I think I leave Wednesday, so I'll have to figure out the live show. Maybe I'll do it from wherever I'm going to be. I think I'm going to North Carolina, and then to Virginia, and then to Puerto Rico, and then back. There's a lot of that. And then, yes, email me. And then also we're going to go to, did you ever get in touch with Robert Swift-Striper? That's another one I got to remember to text. Yeah, Robert and I are buddies. He'll do it. He wants to. So we'll talk about it. I'm going to text him right after this. Jay, make a note if you're watching that we got to text Robert Smith and Lorraine Lewis. Anyway, and yes, Johnny's new songs rock. I haven't heard them all, but I'm sure they do. Everything Johnny does is rocks. Follow, like on Instagram, Facebook. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on X. I'm not on LinkedIn, but become a channel member. All you gotta do is go to the homepage of this where it says join, and you could do that. And you could be a Patreon, and I'll send you some shit. Got some guitar picks that you can have. Oops, maybe not that one, but all kinds of stuff you get just for your membership, and come to your house and do your dishes. Like, I don't do my own, but for you, I would. And this is like therapy again, I'm running out the clock. 2 hours and 15 seconds. Everyone having a good time. I hope my mother is watching. I hope she approved of the content. I'm sure she has notes that I will have to go over. And you can join on this page, as he says. So I didn't know that, but as Jay says, please do it. If there's anyone watching that hasn't subscribed, you please get on it. Like, comment, subscribe, all those things. Next week we'll have a lot more fun. And I think we're going to be live on the road. Maybe Johnny will stop in soon. Matt will come in and co-host for a day. Can you find Mark Michaels from Faster Pussycat? You're going to need the spirit medium because I believe he is deceased. Does Steven ever pull up other guys to jam on stage? No, but we played Breaking the Law, and I think I was the only one who knew it and probably should have played it. Totally down for a slumber party. More Matt Thorne, please. See you next week. I think all of those things will happen. If you want your house to be haunted, invite me. It will be in 10 minutes. Well, that could be a good thing. Vanessa, where is Vanessa? Denise points out Vanessa is old news, and so I think so. Mark Michaels, we would have to FedEx. That's a whole nother story that I don't think we'll get into today, but we could. Tammy's supposed to be here. Maybe Tammy will talk about it. We're down to 45 seconds, and it's going to be a hard out if you know what I mean. I thank you guys for watching. I thank you guys for the super chats, subscriptions, likes, comments, all of it. It all helps to keep this going. We had a good time. Maybe Christy Crash Majors will be here. Maybe Stevie Sex Summers will be here. Maybe we'll get to the bottom of that. I know that I think I can arbitrate it properly. Appreciate you guys watching, and I will be back soon. I'll be in the chat on Friday. If you've never watched a tour diary with me in the chat, I sometimes fall asleep, but this Friday I will be there and awake. We have 10 seconds to say goodbye. I hate saying goodbye, but for now, I suppose it'll be farewell. Everybody have a great evening, and thank you